in working for myself. I started to work on me. And this is where I found Bob Proctor and the law of attraction.
Now we've got a lady here who's relatively new. How are you, Kathleen?
I'm doing really good, Bob, thanks.
I created a version of myself that was powerful and successful and loved and beautiful in the body that I am in now.
What would you say to Kathleen 2 years ago?
Wow.
I was making $3,000 a month in my online business when I started studying the law of attraction. And here I am $15 million later in just under 2 years in a beautiful academy to help purpose-driven entrepreneurs create success in their own lives.
The dollar amount is just a reflection of the impact that we have made on this world and how many people we've been able to help through courses, programs, masterminds, live events. And that leads us up to the Bahamas, where it was all coming together beautifully and things shifted. It was horrifying. I'm somebody who's always thinking about the future and the bright side and the fourth dimension, and there was none of that. But I have come out of this now just absolutely knowing without a shadow of doubt, even more than I knew before, what I'm here to do. It was all part of the plan of preparing me to be able to help more people. Tomorrow starts tonight. This is one life. We are only here for a short time. I only have infinite number of opportunities. I only have an infinite number of moments to experience the wonder that is this life. And I'm not going to waste a moment of it any longer.
Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? Let me get myself set up here, not looking at me. It always just shows myself when we first get started here. So let me just move to gallery. Good morning. There we go. Now I see all these beautiful faces. I am so excited to talk about money today. I have to tell you, some people absolutely love when I talk about money and other people avoid it. And so today we're not going to avoid it. We are going to face it head on. And I'm going to take you along a pathway to understand how you see money, then fall in love with the idea of having more, then convince yourself you do, and then observe it in your physical 3D world, basically. So I'm going to take you through this. What I do, I always use my 4-step manifestation process for everything. So this time we are going to apply that 4-step manifestation process specifically to money. And so if you follow these 4 steps and you stick to it, it is inevitable. It is universal law. So I'll leave it at that, but that's the journey I'm going to take you along. I want to welcome anybody that is brand new. So if this is the first live event that you are attending, please just put first time in the comments, or you could put a 1 in the comments, whatever. When it is your first time, we want to celebrate that because things will never be the same after these 3 days with us. I can tell you that right now, if this is your first time. This is an experience. So we call it like a masterclass, but this is an experience. And everything we do has intention. Every single thing and the pathway that we take you along is designed to help raise your vibration, to allow you to see greater possibility in yourself, to love yourself more, to advance yourself, all those things, to believe in yourself. And then it's designed to help you take different action. And so it all starts with you and your awareness. So welcome if this is your first time. I'm so happy to meet you. And this won't be the last time, I can tell you that. So I do believe, and I've said this time and time again, that people never come into my world uninvited, or I never come into theirs uninvited. Let's say that. It's attraction, and it literally is a cause and effect relationship. And so the simple act of signing up for something like this, you did that for a reason. There was intentionality behind that, and you might not be consciously aware. You might be like, well, I don't know. I just saw it and I had a feeling. That feeling was intuitive. That feeling was guided, and you're following a pathway now towards the realization of something. And so I trust that, even if it makes no sense at all. I absolutely trust it. A little example, yesterday I was working out with my trainer, Eric. So he is a dear friend of mine, very aware, awake, enlightened, beautiful soul. He's going to be in Mexico at the retreat in October. And he just had this intuitive hit to ask me a question. He's like, this question's going to come out of nowhere, Kathleen, but I got to ask it. And I said, okay. And he asked it. And I went, I guess I'm supposed to answer that. So then I answered it. And then it led us down a discussion and a pathway towards a huge realization. A huge realization. And it actually had nothing to do with the original question he wanted to ask, but it's just, it's being guided and just following what feels good and knowing that whatever feels good is the truth that's residing within your soul. And so we follow that feeling. So many people that are already in my community will know that, they will understand that, they feel that, and that will resonate with them. I want to say hello to my Diamond Academy family as well. So for those of you that are new, Diamond Academy is the educational institution. It is the community that I have created, which is a beautiful network of supportive individuals that all have similar goals, not same, but similar. And that goal is the realization of the soul's purpose and to become aware of oneself. And so during this journey, you'll hear a lot about Diamond Academy. That is where the courses, the programs, the live events, the retreats, all of these are run through. They're the organization itself. And so when we say Diamond Academy family, I mean anybody that's a part of it. We really want to create a family here, and we want you to feel so supported alongside us in this journey. And so the Diamond Academy family is anybody that is currently or has been in a course, program, retreat, mastermind, whatever that is. So welcome to the family if you're new. I know we had a few people join our family this week. Suzanne and Megan have joined Millionaire, and then Evelyn has joined Modern Mentor. I also want to acknowledge too that we have some members of my team that have made decisions to come to Mexico. So, so far, Deborah is coming to Mexico to the retreat as a participant to the retreat. Jennifer Underwood is coming. And then I believe Lisa's coming. Did I hear that? So congratulations to the three of you. And I'm so excited for you to come to Mexico to the retreat. Oh, Jesse's coming. Oh, Jesse's coming too. Yes. Okay. Beautiful Jesse. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. I had to keep myself better updated. So what does it mean, my team? So I get this question all the time. What do you mean your team, Kathleen? You know, what's this about? So I can't support the amount of people that we support in the beautiful capacity that we do so alone. And I know that we are stronger when we are together. And so I have a beautiful team of coaches, success advisors, client enrichment coaches, program facilitators that are all here in the support of you. And so if you're on my Diamond Academy team, can you just raise your hand, please? And it'll move them all to the top of your screen. What's so beautiful about, and the reason that I want to show you their faces is because if they reach out to you, they're on my team. We've had a couple people that try to say that they're on our team. No, if they don't have a Diamond Academy email, don't pay attention. But this is my beautiful team that are here to support you. And their goal for this training is to see you transform over the 3 days. We do not want to just entertain you. We want to help you to transform. So if you haven't connected with them, if you haven't chatted with them, please do so. Ask them your questions. If you need guidance around the homework, so there are worksheets for this that we just created. So if you need help getting the worksheets, if you have questions, if you want to chat about your journey and your growth, these are the ones for you to do that with. Okay. So please do not hesitate. They have sent messages or texts or whatever else, and you can find them. If you cannot find them on here, just let us know. Just say, I don't know who my success advisor is, and we will get you connected. Okay, so just let us know in the chat and we'll connect you in the chat box. I'm really good at watching the chat, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes today. I would love to get the worksheets. We're going to share the worksheets with you right now. I don't think we've shared them anywhere, actually. What I really, really wanted to do with the worksheets and what you will see over the next couple of days is that I want you to see that what you currently believe about money right now is creating that reality with money, not the other way around. And then I want you to fall in love with wanting more. Okay. Do you know that it is okay to want more money? Do you know that? Do you know that actually wanting more money is going to allow you to connect in with your creator even more? Because abundance is our birthright. What does that mean? We've heard that all the time. We are not meant to struggle. We are not meant to be in poverty. We are not meant to be in lack and limitation. That is a function of the human mind. That is a pattern and a program that we have learned. And so when I released myself from that, magic happened, literally magic happened. So I'm going to share a couple of the stories over the next few days about some of my biggest movements of energy. And when I say that, I mean bringing in and becoming an open vessel for abundance. Okay. I don't want to say earning money. Sometimes even making money sounds a bit like you've got to like make it, like you're creating it, but all you're doing is being open to receive it and allowing it in. So the earning and the making of is quite interesting language. So we don't necessarily want to go there. But I'm going to take you through this path over the next 2 days. Now, day 3 is VIP day. Okay. So the difference between these next 2 days is that today and tomorrow, I am going to teach and take you along a path and a masterclass. So I'm going to share with you some of my insights, some of my learnings, my own personal opinion, which you will develop your own opinion through the next 2 days. And it's your belief system that will manifest and create outward. So I want you to feel and believe what you want to feel and believe. The 3rd day, VIP day, is the day that I always reserve for those that want to go deeper. Okay. So if day 1 and day 2 give you what you need and you are good, then amazing. We did what we were here to do, is to support you in a transformation. But if you want to go deeper, day 3, I will do a Q&A. Day 3, I will also do a guided visualization, a guided money visualization. So I have not done that before on one of these events. So that'll be the first time, a guided money visualization. And I will actually refrain from talking about any courses or programs until day 3. So I always start to get these questions. Okay, Kathleen, I'm ready for more. I'm ready to dive in. What do you have available? What promotions do you have? I'm not going to tell you about that Thursday, Friday. We'll talk about it Saturday. So reserve your questions for Saturday, please. If you have a question come up now, I saw one come in here. Catherine, how do you release through affirmations, meditations, Hang on to that question. And if it doesn't get answered based on what I teach over the next 2 days, send it to my team for Saturday. Okay. And then we will make sure that we get that answered. It's such a good question. So I'll keep that in my mind to answer it, but I'm confident it'll get answered over the next 2 days for sure. Okay. Beautiful, Catherine. So, the other thing, elephant in the room, Toronto event. Okay. Oh, this is so funny. I'm laughing because I'm just in awe of the response and the reaction that I've been getting about this. It's everyday messages in my inbox, people booking flights, and we haven't even like opened for the tickets to be on sale, but we will be selling the tickets tomorrow. So if you're on here, just wait, and we will be selling the tickets tomorrow for Manifest Toronto, October 14th. And it is going to be about a 5-hour event. I'm going to do a masterclass, and it is also going to be the launch party for my new book, The Best of Yourself, coming out. So I'm so excited to celebrate this book in person with people that think like me, want to rise like me, and want to celebrate with me. So, and my whole team will be there too. So really, really excited. And then I hope some of you that I haven't seen in a really long time come. Like Darcy, I hope you come, beautiful. I would just absolutely love to see you. Yeah. And I'm sure the rest of the team would love to see you too. Beautiful. So let's get going. Are we ready to talk about money? Are we ready to talk about wealth? So I would love to know why you signed up for a wealth masterclass. And your answer to this question is going to be so important during this journey. So be honest, because if you are not honest with yourself, you can't change whatever it is that you want to change when it comes to money. Because what I can tell you is if you felt like you had enough money, you wouldn't sign up for a wealth masterclass. So there is something within you that has a limit regarding the expansion of wealth, and you are wanting to come on here, and I want to know why that is. If you're watching this on the replay or you're watching this on YouTube, I want you to go through and enter into the spirit of this just like you're live, and either put your answers in the comments on YouTube or in a journal and let your success advisor know. Your branding was magnetic. Angel, I love that answer. I'm going to tell Shauna, my branding girl, because she will be so happy to hear that. Isn't the branding phenomenal? And she gets me. She just gets me. She gets what I want to do and what I want to represent, which is really, really beautiful. I'm going to read a few of these. For those that are on the replay, you can't see them, so I want to read them. I believe there's a wealth frequency and I want to learn how to access it. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. To block whatever is holding my abundance back. I want to get deeper. Oh, it moved. I want to get deeper into manifesting more abundance. Anita, let's go. I want to learn how to hold the flow consistently instead of stop and go. Oh, I love that. It's like Niagara Falls. Okay, Niagara Falls is like this beautiful waterfall that is always going. It never stops. It just flows and flows and flows. And if you stand there and you look up at that thing and you actually think about how much water is coming over that waterfall every single day and just keeps going and never stops, it never runs out, that's abundance. That's the flow. And that can be our reality with money. How do we know that? Because there are people that have that reality. Isn't there? Are they special? Are they magical? Do they have something you don't have? No. Nope, nope, nope. Because that belief that they are magic and special and they have something you don't have, they've had it easier or they were born into it or whatever, doesn't serve you. Really doesn't serve you. I want time freedom and financial freedom. I don't want to keep counting those pennies to the last drop. Oh, Dawn, what a great statement. Sylvia, why am I blocking money? I want to stop doing it. Have a great retirement, building a new home at 59. Oh, tired of doing it my way and not getting anywhere. Tired of the worry, stress, want peace of mind. What's really, really beautiful in a lot of these statements is possibility. Right? So you wouldn't come on to a wealth masterclass at all if you didn't see a possibility for more wealth in your life. And that is such a beautiful starting point for this journey, because there are people that would not even sign up for this. They don't even think it's possible for them to make any extra money at all whatsoever. So they wouldn't even bother. Why try? So the fact that you are here and you want to grow and you want to learn how to bring more money into your life tells me that you believe it's possible for you. And that is such a beautiful realization. And I hope you see that that comes from a real place of love, of self-love, of confidence, of empowerment. And so whatever the story is that you're telling about yourself today when it comes to money or other areas of your life, I want you to reframe it in this moment. You're here because you see something. You're here because you're open. You're here because you're ready to grow and expand. I am a driven woman, and I am not ashamed of that. It is an energy that I have within myself that I am pretty motivated, I'm pretty driven, and I go after what I want, and I go after it boldly. And I wasn't always like this. I used to be like, oh, well, maybe I would want that. And like, oh, what if I could? Now I'm like, oh, it's mine. Let's go. I posted a reel yesterday and so many people sent me messages about it. And then I've actually had people use the audio. But the reel I posted yesterday was about one of my newest podcast episodes. And it was, I don't take no for an answer. That's what I said in the podcast. And I really wanted to share that little statement and that feeling because there's an energy behind it. So when you don't take no for an answer, then what you're committed to is the yes, right? You're saying no to the no and you're committed to the yes. So when somebody tells me I can't do something, I can't have something, it isn't possible, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't believe that. Like, I'm so convinced that it's mine. I'm so convinced I can have that. No, you just don't know. You just don't know. You have no idea. Chantel, what are you sending me? Believe the unbelievable. God goes all out for you when you go all out for God. Where's that from? Do we know? If you're in my Diamond Academy family, you should know where that is from. Chantel, you can let them know. But that's an energy. And so I want us to start in that energy of, yes, I want more. Yes, I believe it's possible to have more. And yes, I'm not going to take no for an answer. And that is a beautiful starting point. Yes, that was God Works Through Faith by Robert Russell that Chantel posted. So I want us to see over these next few days that anything and everything is possible. How many of you don't know my story? Do you want me to tell you a little bit? I'll tell you a little bit. I follow the traditional path, the predictable path, right? So what are we told? Graduate from high school, go to college or university, get a job, hopefully make $100,000 a year, get married, have babies. Then work at a job for 35 years, 40 years, retire, and be done. Retire 65, and then just be done. I did that. It was great. I was in healthcare 12 years, but I always felt this thing. Every time I would watch people just out there living their best lives, these extraordinary lives, traveling the world, experiencing all these amazing things, working for themselves, even little things like there was a woman who used to post, like she'd drop her kids off at the bus in the morning and then she'd go work out at the gym and then she'd work in her home office on her business and then she'd go pick her kids up from the bus. And I was like, I'm over here sitting in an office in meetings all day, commuting an hour and back, getting no lunch breaks. And you're over here at the gym and getting your kids from the bus. And you're probably making more money than me. And I found out later she was. And so that's when I started to think about this. So the receipt of money then isn't tied to the job we do or the number of hours that we work. It's tied to our consciousness. It's tied to what we believe. And so in September of 2019, I took a mindset course with Bob Proctor from the movie The Secret. Oh, I had so many aha moments and so many realizations. And I realized just how much I was living in lack and limitation and how $100,000 a year was as far as my mind would let me go. So then I started to change that. And I thought, what would it be like to be a millionaire? There's a couple of you on here. I started a teen chat. If you'll remember this, I think Darcy was in that chat. Lisa was in that chat. I titled it Team Millie, MILLI, Team Millionaires. Because I started to see past what the paradigm was, what the original way of living was, the predictability, the realism, the realistic life. And I started to dream about what it would be like to make $1 million a year. So that was 10 times what I was making, 10 times what I was making. And nothing changed but my own belief in it. And that decision to go for it, that decision to bring that into my life, it literally changed everything. And I did it in 7 months. In 7 months, $1 million, not a year, but in 7 months. And then I was on a training with Bob Proctor and he says to me, so what are you going to do now, Kathleen? You made $1 million in 7 months. What's next? And I went no, he said, what are you going to do by the end of the year? And I'm like, 2 million. Oh my God, I'm going to do 2 million this year. And then as I said it, I was like, my mind could go further than that, Bob. No, I'm going to do 3. And he was like, okay, Kathleen. And I did 3.3 that year. That year was the year where I quantum leaped my life. Just like that. And it was so fun and it was so exciting and it was so powerful and so beautiful. And I had so many people that resonated with my vision, who supported me through it, who were next to me, who supported our clients through their growth and transformation that year. It was life-changing for us all. And I could not have done that alone. And so I think the reason that I want to tell you that is because you don't have to do it alone. You can do it in a supportive community, in an environment, and be surrounded by people. And I didn't have that, so I built it. I created it. And so now we have this. It's created. It's a physical thing. It's a community here to support you through that. So it's a very, very powerful creation, and it will absolutely support you in any capacity. But the 3.3 million went to 12 million the next year, and more and more. So I mean, it's just been beautiful and inspiring and empowering. And there has been so many things, but the biggest shifts are not necessarily the money, the changes in my experiences in my lifestyle, but it's my peace. It's my passion. It's my self-love. It's my joy. It's my happiness. And it's not attached to anything. So if everything went away tomorrow, I would still love my life. If everything went away tomorrow, I would still be living in my purpose. If everything went away tomorrow, I would still be fulfilled. And so that's what I want to help you guys to do, is to create generational wealth from a certainty and knowing that either way you will be okay. From a certainty and knowing that the money isn't going to make you happier. Being happier will make you more money. But loving yourself, loving your life, loving your family, loving this beautiful 3D physical world we live in is going to help you change your entire experience of life. Having more money will be a beautiful byproduct of your connection and oneness to God, source, creator, universe. Okay? I want you to want money, but I don't want you to need money. Do we feel the difference? I joke about this all the time, but it's like so true. In the dating world, they say, I want you, but I don't need you. And that's where I want you to be. I want you to be in the energy of money. I want you, but I don't need you. And the need for money, needing it, means you're attached to it. It means you're attached to the outcome. It has a meaning for you in your life that is really powerful and really important. And so it is tied more to your worthiness, your successfulness, your feelings of pride and accomplishment than it is actually needing the money. So many people are like, no, like Kathleen, I really need it. Like I really do. I got bills to pay. I need it. And I'm like, aren't your bills getting paid? Like the current bills you have right now, they're getting paid, right? And they're like, well, yeah, but it's tight and I just have enough, or every month I go into debt a little bit more. So let's experience something else. Instead of the feeling of not having money and having to pay your bills and not wanting to, let's just move over into a different perspective and perception. I'm so grateful for these bills. I'm so grateful I get to pay them. Look at me go, oh, another bill paid. How amazing. And that little shift just takes you out of the needing. We don't need it. There are people that don't have a fraction of what you have, and they're okay. And they're happy and they're living a great life. So I want us to change the way it feels about needing money. If you needed it, really, really needed it for your survival, you really needed it for your survival, what would happen right now? Where would you be in your life? The same place? Like we actually need our health a little bit more than we need money, wouldn't we say? Yeah. Let me tell you, this is a lesson that I learned, very, very important lesson. I was at the peak of my career. We were doing well over $1 million a month revenue into the business, $1 million a month. Okay. So I went from 100,000 a year to $1 million a month. And I was traveling around the world. We were supporting people in the most incredible ways. I was doing my first retreat in the Bahamas, and bam, I ended up in the hospital with pneumonia, had to have emergency lung surgery, had to be away from my kids. I was in Miami, had to be away from my kids for 5 weeks. I was in the ICU, had a chest tube, the whole nine. And let me tell you that money means nothing if you do not have your health. It means nothing if you do not have your health. People say health is wealth. Well, wealth in all areas of your life is what we are seeking, not just in health and not just in wealth. Like, we really want to be wealthy and prosperous in every single area of our life. That is the wholeness of who we are. So the wholeness of who we are then is spiritually whole, intellectually whole, and physically whole. But it also includes abundance and prosperity. And so there is this thing in the spiritual world where there's this energy that wanting and having money is a bad thing. I even saw a TikTok one day, and it said something along the lines of like, don't believe the rich that claim to be spiritual because you can't be spiritual and rich. And I was like, oh my gosh, what a belief to have. Why would you believe that? You will never have more money than you have today. Never. And so I want you to experience the truth of who you are and have the existence that you desire and create the reality that you desire. And so if you believe that you can be really spiritually aligned and connected, and you can be like, so set in your oneness and experience exponential wealth, then that's the experience that you'll have. But if you don't believe it, you won't have it. What a belief to have. I know. And this is the thing, Jessica, is that I pay attention to the beliefs that I have, and I pay attention to the beliefs that other people have. And I want to make sure that every single belief that I have is one that I want to see manifest. Okay? So what you believe to be true will always be your truth. Your beliefs are what manifest. Okay? So if you notice a belief in yourself that is wrong or untrue or limiting, just be like, do I want this to manifest in my life? Yes or no? Do I want this to manifest? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, change the belief. Every belief manifests. So do you want this belief to manifest? So the belief that you can't be spiritual and rich, okay, if you believe that, that's what will manifest. So then you have one of two choices: either be spiritual or be rich. You can't have both because your belief says the outcome. We had a really beautiful awareness in my next level mastermind. And this is a group of high level income earners that want to expand and grow. So no matter how much money you make, there's always the possibility of more. And so the ascension is really beautiful. But one of the things that was really, really beautiful in that awareness was one of the members had a realization that you couldn't, their belief that they held was that in order to make millions of dollars or to become richer, that you had to do something dishonest. So they believed that money was made through dishonest action. And so then she was at a impasse. Either get dishonest and make more money, or not make more money. And so reprogramming that belief, so her awareness of that belief and the reprogramming of that belief, brilliant, makes you more open to receive, because then you are completely reprogramming that, which is beautiful. Homework should be in the chat. I think we've posted it, but let's make sure the team posts the homework. I will tell you what the homework is more closer to the end. But you can also reach out to your success advisor as well, and they can send you the worksheets. It's just 2 pages, just 2 questions. But I've actually told you what the intention is, even with the question, and I've never done that before. But I want you to see that I'm asking you these questions for a reason. There is an intention, a belief, an understanding that I want you to have when you answer these questions. And so by answering them, it's allowing you to see what that is. So they should be in the chat now. Oh yeah, I can see it. Oh, good to see you, Marcia Bench. Good to see you, beautiful. Okay, we're going to do some interviews today at 11 o'clock. We're going to interview a couple people in our community, and they're going to share their experience and their shift. We're going to do that again tomorrow. And then also we'll do a whole bunch of questions on Saturday, but we'll do interviews as well. What was the quote of "I do not take no for an answer"? It's just on my reel on my Instagram. It's just something I said on one of my podcast episodes. I just thought it was a beautiful energy. If we understand universal law, so there are laws that no matter where we are in this universe, they are true. So they're an absolute truth and not a relative truth. So a relative truth says that if we are in a different country or on different sides of the world, that our truth might be different, right? So what beauty is different in different parts of the world. Our beliefs around money are different in different parts of the world. Success, health, foods we should eat, those are all relative truths. So depending on where you are, you might have a different reality. But an absolute truth is true no matter where you are. So the law of gravity, for example, no matter where you live, gravity is holding you down unless you go on the spaceship. But, to be on this planet somewhere, that is an absolute truth. It is universal law. So universal law then is the law of infinite supply. So as long as there is a demand, there will always be a supply. It's infinite. It's infinite. So what's the demand? What do I mean by that? What's the demand? So let's think about money then. Money comes where it is needed. Money comes where there is a demand for it. And this is big, you guys. There is a lot of us that want more, but we are not creating a demand. We are not. We are hoping for more, but we are feeling lack and limitation. We desire more and we express that. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly, but you're not creating a demand. The creation of a demand is what opens you to receive the vessel. So it's making different decisions. So I don't know if Melissa's on here. It's really fun to watch how much this actually happens, but Melissa wanted to go to the retreat. She knew that if she could sell a certain number of people into her offer, her product, that she would make the money to come to the retreat. So what most people will do is they will say, okay, I will make the money, I will sell the products, and then I will come to the retreat. No. You're going to put a deposit down for the retreat. You're going to create the demand, and then the clients will buy the products. And that's exactly what happened. And this happens to me over and over and over again. But you gotta have faith, because some of you are over here going, no, I don't believe this. This isn't true. You have so many stories around money that you can't do it. You're just like, no way, can't do it, can't happen, don't believe it. And so then you won't see that experience. So I just wanted to tell you about the demand, because the I don't take no for an answer, that's a part of my demand system. So I'm going to keep demanding. I'm going to keep asking for. I'm going to keep myself open to receive. I will not take no for an answer. So even when the world says, no, this isn't happening for you, Kathleen. No, this isn't possible. It's remaining true to it and saying no. Let me give you a little fun example with my daughter. So we were at my mom and dad's place a few weeks ago, and Mason came over to me. She's 11 years old. And she came over to me and she said, Mom, I would love some s'mores. My dad was going to do a campfire and she wanted s'mores. And we had just gotten there and I had just driven an hour to get there and I was tired. I just wanted to relax. And the grocery store is like 20 minutes away. And we didn't have any s'mores. How is she 11 already? I know. And so she was like, well, can't we just go to the grocery store? And I'm like, oh, Mason, it's 20-minute drive. No, we're not going to the grocery store. We're not. You can have like a fudgesicle or something my dad had in the fridge. She asks again. And then she asks me again. And then again. And I'm like, no, you're so persistent, And I was like, I'm not going to get you s'mores. And then I go inside to go to the bathroom. And I come back out and she's sitting there in the backyard with a s'mores kit. And I'm like, I was gone 5 minutes. Did this just show up from thin air? It literally did. So the next door neighbor heard that she wanted s'mores, heard me say no, that I wasn't going to go to the grocery store, and delivered a s'mores kit. Okay? There is such a valuable lesson here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you manifested that, Mason. It's such an important lesson. She did not stop asking. She held the image. And so I could have got mad at her and I could have said, you asked me that one more time, but I didn't. I just kept saying, no, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. And she just kept asking and she just kept asking. So I think persistence and continuing to demand and not taking no for an answer are really beautiful energies, and they will get you whatever you want. And the other thing about that was that what you want will always be delivered, but you have to remain open to it being delivered in ways that you did not think it would be delivered in, right? So who knew that the next door neighbor was going to overhear her and bring over? Like, it literally just showed up from thin air. And these stories are very common in our world, very, very common in our world. Somebody messaged me yesterday and they're like, I just manifested $26,000, Kathleen, just out of thin air. Do we have Leslie DeMarco on here? Is she on here? Oh man, the text message she sent me lit me right up. She, I don't know if she's on here. She, I don't want to butcher her story, but basically the text message said was when she first found us, she was about to lose her car. Didn't have any money. And she couldn't even take Wealth from Within. So I have a course called Wealth from Within. It's $1,111. She couldn't even take it. And I decided, and I've never done this before, I decided that I was going to give away a Wealth from Within. I'm going to give away a program. And she won it. Well, she manifested it. And she took it and she applied it and she embodied it. And then she started to make more money. And then she moved into the millionaire program. She upgraded into millionaire. And she texted me, she just had a $60,000 day in her business. Okay, like this is, oh, Andrea, she's your best friend. Well, we might have to bring her up for a minute when she comes on, maybe tomorrow or the next day, but that text message lit me up. It is absolute proof that it is your consciousness that creates. It's not the world around you, but it's what you believe to be true. I will never forget, Darcy, I'm going to tell your story. I will never forget when I decided that I wanted to pay out a $50,000 invoice to somebody on my team. I was like, I would love that, universe. I would love to pay someone on my team $50,000 in 1 month. I would love to do that. And Darcy was like, that's me. She was like, that is so me. And she kind of reminds me of Jennifer Underwood, actually, because Jennifer Underwood just did something really similar. But I don't even know how long it was. It was probably maybe 60 days later. I paid out my first $50,000 invoice, and it was to Darcy. And so there's an energy around making a decision. There's an energy about not taking no for an answer. And there's an energy about staying focused on the things that you desire. There are people in my world that the world might be telling them no. And they are like, I'm holding the image. Like, I'm acting in the assumption, I'm holding the image. This is what is going to happen. And so these little stories, these things that we're telling you, I want you to really see that it's possible and available to you, but you must get into the energy. You must be in faith and you must desire. How do we develop the faith and belief that what we want will come? I see it so far out of reach. Oh, Teresa, I think that awareness is so beautiful. The awareness in yourself that you see it as being too far out of reach. That honest revelation right there will change everything for you. Because if you're unaware that you think it's out of reach, you cannot change that. But now you saying, you know what? I believe it's out of reach. That now is something we can change. That is a belief within your consciousness that we can reprogram to a new belief. We can act in the assumption of faith and we can change it. And so then you go from it's out of reach to, you know what, I actually think that it's within my reach. I actually think it's possible. And then to it's on its way to it's already done. And that's the journey of the realization I want to take you guys through. So the honesty about your awareness, your understanding, your beliefs is really, really important. So that's what I say. You got to be honest. Like, nobody else is paying attention to what you think. Nobody else cares what you believe. You should care, because what you believe is what you manifest outwards. So pay attention. So the first set of questions, I really, really wanted you to see what your current money story is. Okay. And people say like a story, like, what do you mean? Well, it's something you're telling yourself. It's a belief that you hold. It's an experience that you're having that you've created. So you learned somewhere along the road that making money is hard. You learned somewhere down the road that you needed to get a job that paid you an hourly wage or a salary, and that's security. You learned that the more you work, the more hours you work, the more money you'll make. You learned that having money could be a bad thing, that rich people are bad, that wanting more money is selfish or greedy. See how I'm pulling all of these things out? I'm pulling them all out. And so I want you to pull these out of you. What do you believe? I used to believe that spending more than $250 on clothes at one time was too much. So I would go to the store and I would find all the things that I wanted, and I'd go to the till. And if it was $300 or less, I would buy it. But if not, I would say, oh, take this out, take that out. I come from a life of hand-me-downs, lines for food pantry. So when you are raised into that belief system, the only way to rise up out of it is to change your belief system, right? So if we think about any rags to riches story, and I think about The Rock, this one is just so inspiring because he grew up with nothing, absolutely nothing. And he had a rough life. And what's really interesting with him is he held the image of something greater for himself. And so he changed the way he saw himself, even like the persona, The Rock. Like he created this like alter ego version of himself with new beliefs and new extensions of his possibilities for himself. And now like flies private all over the world, has so much money, so many businesses, like is living in abundance and prosperity. And so how does somebody go from living in poverty to absolute abundance and prosperity? In their thinking. So most of us are born into lack and limitation thinking, and it's our ability to switch into abundance and prosperity thinking that change everything. So the first question then is to identify what your money story is. So what do you believe to be true about money? What assumptions do you have about it? One thing that's really fun to do is to ask yourself the question too, what do I think about rich people? What do I think about rich people? What do I think about people that have a lot of money? What do I think about people that post about the money that they have? So it's really good. I know I saw some reactions. What's really interesting is that if you are triggered or activated by someone else having money, it is a reflection of the beliefs that you hold around money within your consciousness. Because if you're inspired by it and you think it's possible for you, you would see it and you'd be like, oh yeah, look at them in that beautiful Rolls Royce. That's so great. I'd love to be in a Rolls Royce too. And you'd be inspired. You'd love it. But instead you're like, oh, what a waste of money. That Rolls Royce, it's just a car. Why would they do that? And then some people are like, oh, I don't even want any more money. What? Why on earth? And then I say, so if I gave you $1 million cash right now, you'd say no? They're like, yeah, no. I'm like, so you do. You would love it. So allow yourself to say, yes, I would love it. Yes, I would love it. And you can spend your abundance on anything you want. So you don't have to buy a Rolls Royce. You can buy whatever you want. Maybe it's not even a car at all. Maybe you spend it on travel. Maybe you reinvest it into your business. Maybe you buy properties, whatever. But at least be open to receive the abundance and prosperity. You can spend it on whatever you want, right? But there's also this other belief. When you see people with money and your thought is, must be nice. It'll never happen to me. So Chris and I used to do this when we would do road trips into the mountains in like 2010. We would do this exercise of like, what would we spend our money on if we won 30 mil in the lottery? And we would go into dream mode. I would buy my parents a house for $1 million. We could buy a house here for $1 million. We could buy a house in Florida for $1 million. Like, do this, do that. And we would allow ourselves to just get onto the creative plane and think about all the what ifs around winning the $30 million lottery. But then we would be like, okay, let's get back to reality. It's not going to happen. It's not possible. And then we would never buy a lottery ticket. So it's really not possible. So I think if you keep your limiting beliefs around money, and if you keep judging those that have money, you are literally not buying the lottery ticket. You are just counting yourself out before you're even giving yourself a chance. So I just want to give you the law of relativity for a minute here. So what if you just decide to believe in some of the things that I say today? What if you decide to remove some limiting money beliefs? What if you decide to realize all the abundance and prosperity you already have and be open to receive more? And what if you do that and you end up with more money? Worst case scenario, you don't. Are you further behind? Have you lost anything? No. So you quite literally have nothing to lose and only things to gain. And what I have found along this journey, and many of these beautiful students in my community will tell you this, is that upon the journey of making more money, they receive spiritual currency far beyond what money will ever bring you. I'm thinking about Jenna right now. Jenna is helping me with Manifest Toronto. She's helping me plan our Toronto event. And Jenna's journey is a really beautiful one. She's paid off, I think it was over $100,000 in debt within your first little bit of being here. And you've manifested a fair bit of money and change in your life. But I would venture to say that the things that are the most important to you are the changes within your self-love, within your happiness levels, within your relationships, within your perspective and how you see life. So and those all outweigh the money. Yeah, I know, right? Because they are literally priceless. That's why I love spiritual currency, because they are literally priceless. So what I would love for all of you is for us to desire more money, to go out and get it. And then on the path towards the realization of it, we awaken, we enlighten, we become happier, we become more joyful, we fall in love with our lives, we fall in love with the world, we fall in love with everyone around us. And that the journey becomes bliss along the allowing and the receiving of more money in our lives. And we have had so many people in our community that have made a significant difference in this world, the moment they chose themselves. And they chose to allow themselves to be open to receive more money. And we understand that it is an exchange. You are compensated based on the amount of service that you provide the world. You're compensated. Your dreams will be compensated the more that your dreams change the world. And so you might change the world through the sale of your best-selling book. You might change the world. I'm thinking about Judy effing Legend over there. She has a mug. I'm an effing legend. I hope you're bringing that with you to Toronto, Judy. Bring that mug. And so it's about the advancement of others in the advancement of ourselves. And our soul's journey really is to experience itself as all of us, because we are all one. It's really beautiful. We want to see the mug again. Do you have the mug, Judy? Yeah, go grab it. We'll show everybody the mug. So while she gets that mug, and before we start some interviews here, I want us to start off by paying attention to how we feel around money. How we feel around money. What is our story? There she is. Okay, wait, let me pin you. Okay, this is her mug. Pull it back a little bit so we can see. Yeah. There we go. Isn't it brilliant? You gotta send me one. I have a Cafe Inclusioso one that Natalie sent me. Yeah, so you'll have to, I want one. Bring one for me. Okay, how do I unpin Judy now? Team. Oh, there we go. I'm a Zoom expert. I'm a Zoom expert. That's what I tell myself. So I'm saying this all to say that you deciding to want more abundance and more prosperity in your life changes everything for you, will change the course of your life, will change your family's life, everything, if you allow it. So how bold and daring are you going to be? And so it starts first by understanding what you believe about money, and then we're going to change it. And then the second question, I want you to fall in love with it. So we're going to talk about that after the interviews. Do we have Deborah on for interviews? Deborah, are you here? Beautiful. Oh, look at us in pink. Yay! We're BarbieCon right here. Okay, I'm going to let you.
We didn't plan it. We didn't plan it at all.
We did not. I actually really love the fuchsia color of yours, and I almost wore that heart necklace. We have the same heart necklace as well, and I almost wore it. Uh-oh. That would have been good. Okay, I'll let you take over.
Yes, Joy. Is Joy here? Thank you, Kathleen. Joy, we are. There she is. Oh my gosh, so nice to see your children in the background, the picture. I love it. I love it, love it. How are you, my friend?
Thank you. I am awesome. Great. I'm happy to be here today.
I'm so happy that you're here to share your story. It's such a great story. And, you know, you did this with your sister as well. And this is why I'm so, so happy. I have a sister as well. And it touches my heart that, you know, when we bring family together with us. So where are you in the world again?
I'm in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, Boston. Nice,
Yes.
nice. And where are you from? Because I think you're from Brazil, correct?
Yes, I'm from Brazil. I'm originally from Brazil. I've been around the world a few times. But I was born in Brazil. I went to school. Went to high school here in the United States. I went back to Brazil. I went to United Kingdom for my post-graduation. So I've been around the block.
It's nice. So where were you before you came to our community? Before you know, you decided to join our community? Where were you at?
Yes, I arrived in the United States in 2016 after personal loss, and I dropped everything in Brazil. I lost a child, and I came here to start from scratch. And my sister Miriam, who was in the program with me, she was one who welcomed me back. I came here for high school when I was a teenager, so I knew my way back. And I just restarted my whole life back then in 2016. And I went back to wait on tables and clean houses and everything. And in Brazil, I was $1 million. I had $1 million business. We used to make over $1 million reais in a month. And after the loss, I just dropped everything and came over. And then I just climbed the ladder. I went to buy a car, decided to start selling cars, and I sold cars for a while. Then I went on and I bought my own dealership, and I had it for over 4 years. And then after I had my second child, when I got here, I had John, my miracle, a month later. And then on my second child, Joshua, John is the big one, Joshua is the little one, the other ones are my niece and nephews. I decided that I did not want to be in the automobile business anymore. Then that was when my life, I sold my business and I was home and looking for something to do. I was studying real estate and looking for the next steps of my life. And then I just, after a while, I was in a coffee shop studying, and Kathleen Rich's program came on. And the word riches caught my attention, and I signed up. And then that has been just a roller coaster back since then of diving into myself and learning more about myself and finding out what I really want and what my true calling is.
So Joy, why was that so important to you? How did you feel at the moment when, you know, you're here and you're seeing someone, you know, going through this? Kathleen went through everything in her life and she changed it. Like, what was going through your mind?
It was a moment that I was lost. I was totally lost. I was looking for something. What do I want to do? What's next for me? What's next in life? And when we come into the program, first thing we start studying is ourselves. And then we start looking at ourselves. You don't come into the program where you're going to study only something outside of you. You're really going to dive into yourself. And then you start to discover what your calling, what you meant, why you came over, why you came to this world, and why you always had a feeling, a burning desire in your heart, but you never knew what it was. And then you start understanding and drawing yourself, and then you learn that God gave you, God gave us a choice. God gave us free will so that we can co-create our lives. That was the biggest aha for me in this community, was that I've been a Christian all my life, but I had God all the way up there. And now I just realized that he gave me free will so that I can design the life that I want. I can design the life that I create for me, for my kids, and for the people around me. So, and this is what's been empowering me to move forward. And when I joined the program, I was in the middle of looking for a home.
Yes.
And it was so hard because the market here in Massachusetts is really hard. In the same home, people there made over 30 offers. So we were just not getting accepted, and the offers not getting accepted. And then I had an interview with Kathleen, a short one in one event, and she told me, just manifest it. It will happen. And it did. I wrote down the day that I was going to tell my family, in details, tell my family that our offer was accepted.
Okay, so
And
somebody
we bought.
says, okay, how do you manifest? So now you said you wrote this down. What else did you do?
Yes. What's the biggest, the most important thing for me in manifestation is the feeling. I wrote it down, and I felt it in my gut, the joy, the happiness, the accomplishment, and that on the day that I was going to tell my family that we had our offer accepted.
Mm.
And we actually bought a 2,800 square footage home with a pool. It's like a little mansion. It's beautiful, and it's way more than I could imagine in my mind. And it was literally a week later that I wrote it down in details, and I visualized me screaming, because I am very, a loud person. I would call my family and scream and jump up and down, and I would see that vision, and I would see it every morning and every evening, and it happened. And it happened so fast that I was taken aback. I shared with everybody in the community, and since then I've just playing with manifestation. I've been just manifesting a better life every day.
Exactly. So you really went to the feeling of it, because really your vibration equals manifestation. So important. And this is what you learned. This is what you embodied. And I want you to tell everyone, like, what does this community mean to you? What is it that, why did you have to come to this community? You could have done this on your own, correct?
Yes and no. I don't know if I could have done it on my own. I have been on this road with my sisters. Everything we did then and we were actually studying real estate business together. And when I saw the richest thing, I watched it for one day, and then I mentioned to my mom. My mom was like, "You have to tell your sister." And Martha was 8 months pregnant, my little one. She's like, "No, I can't do this right now." But Marian, she just like, I sent her the video. She saw the replay. She called me up and she said, she's got something to teach us. We have to learn from these women. It is what we're looking for. We have to learn how to design our lives. And then we just jumped right in, both of us, and we signed up for the program, and both of our lives have just, I honestly, I left, I was living in a really small home. I moved into this huge, beautiful home. I haven't needed money ever since. Money just comes to me in various forms of ways, and I just manifest it. And Kathleen today said about paying the bills, and that's something I do. I'm so grateful that I have a $4,000 mortgage, because I live in a beautiful home. I feel so grateful to pay for this because I can't afford it. And every time I sign a check and I pay a bill, I just pay with so much gratitude, and I add a zero to it. I'm paying a $4,000 home, but I will be getting a $40,000 check back into my account. And I've been playing with this, and life is just happening in a beautiful way.
This is so beautiful. So I know I had many money beliefs when I started this community, and I worked on many of them. So what would be one belief that, set you back, that you were, either raised with or you heard and you took it upon yourself? So what is one that you shifted here, or one you still have?
I cannot say there was only one. My parents always said, money don't grow on trees. Rich people are not all honest people. They became rich because they were dishonest to somebody. Rich people won't go to heaven. Rich people don't want to go to heaven because they're too comfortable here. So there are all these who have been engraved into our memories, into our minds, in that we sabotage to be rich. I've always reached to a plateau, and then I decreased from that. In my 44 years of life, I've had 3 bankruptcies. So I know that I've reached a certain level, and then I just drop it because I would not allow myself from all the internal beliefs. And today, I honestly, deeply, truly believe that we are meant to be wealthy. We came to this world to be wealthy and to accept all the wealth there is for us. And honestly, for me, I used to be embarrassed to say to people that I wanted more, because everybody would tell me, you have enough. You have plenty. You have more than enough. And I were listening to Kathleen all the time. She's saying, I'm $100 million Kathleen. Now I'm buying an airplane. Like, I've always wanted more. And I would be embarrassed. And then I would, in this program, I would realize that I was embarrassed to want more. Mm-hmm. So then I would sabotage myself and would say, well, I make $15,000, $20,000 a month. That's enough. A lot of people don't make that. That's enough. That's not enough. We are allowed to have more. We are allowed to live in abundance. We are allowed to live in a very extraordinary life.
Absolutely. Abundance is everywhere, and we all are able to have it. And the question is, where are you in your life? And how do you see yourself right now? Let's continue that to see who you really want to be. And let's change that if you are not that person. Right? That is so, so true. I love that so much. So what would you love to share with the community of, how this whole thing about choosing you first has changed? Is there something?
I've also done, signed up for the Model Mentor program. I haven't even finished Millionaire, and I've already signed up for the Model Mentor, and I've been juggling both. I've already written out my program, and I'll be launching it soon. And I've decided to come into this all in, and I've been telling myself all of this belief that there are way too many coaches out there. There's not maybe people you don't need another person, but somebody told me yesterday, there's only one Joy, there's only one me, there's only one person, my voice is going to be unique, and people need to hear through my voice. Like I needed to hear through Kathleen's voice, and everybody in the community needed to hear through Kathleen's voice and Deborah's voice, because we hear through everybody's voice when we get into the community and we go into the groups and everybody share, and then we hear through everybody's voice, and then we grow and we help everybody grow. So I've decided, I've made a decision, then I am going to take another leap of faith, and I'm going to I was suffering through the imposter syndrome. I don't know enough. I'm not good enough. I haven't been in this material long enough. I haven't read enough. Yes, we have. We know a lot. I've suffered a great quantum leap ever since I joined this program. I am living a millionaire joy through everything that I do. Even the meal that I decide to eat. Will a millionaire person eat this? A movie that I'm going to watch or not? Music that I'm going to listen or not? I always ask myself, does the millionaire version Joy is going to do this? Oh, okay. No, it won't. So I'm not doing it. And this is how my life has gone through this huge quantum leap. And I believe that anybody who embraces and decided to take the leap of faith and join the program will definitely dive into themselves first and then understand how much their growth there is.
I love this, Joy, and I'm so proud of you because you've done, you're a student that shows up for herself and you always choose you. And the fact that you're choosing you, your children are changing as well. So before we, finish this interview, please tell me about your children and how this has helped them as much.
Yes, I have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I raised my husband's 14-year-old. And I go into gratitude mode with them. I wake up in the morning and I tell them I'm happy now. I'm happy and grateful now that I make $30,000 a month easily and effortlessly. And they know this as and they just say it with me. They rant it with me. And now John has started, like, I'm happy and grateful now that I go to Japan. And I'm like, where'd that come from? He's like, yeah, Mom, I want to meet Japan. He's 6. I'm happy and grateful now that we go to Harry Potter's castle and we just go into this dream mode. And as a toddler, he does not have that, I don't believe this is not going to happen. And now when we go to bed, I tell him about the day that we're going to meet the private jet that we're going to buy, how we're going to see it, how we're going to climb on it, I'm going to order champagne for me and her dad and juice for them and tall glasses, and we're all going to toast together. And he just flows with it. He just accepts it. And it's beautiful because now I can be a mom that I will enable my kids to dream, not tell them, wake up, it's not going to happen, and it's beautiful journey. And I know that I am making a huge difference in my kids' lives and my family's lives, and whoever gets into the program and do the work will definitely suffer these changes as well.
Thank you so much, Joy. I truly believe that. I have adult children and, I text back and forth with them. And my daughter was telling my son, it's always going to be aligned. Just believe it. And it's so beautiful that they take our language and they just go on with understanding that it's all within us already. We just have to be and have and show up as that person. And that's what you're doing for yourself. And they're seeing that as well. They're witnessing that.
And we're so taught to just play safe. Don't believe that. Get a 9-to-5, go to get a job and just play safe. And this is totally the opposite. Just believe in yourself and take the leap of faith. Don't play safe.
Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you for joining us today and sharing your story.
Thanks for having me.
We've had so many. Okay, good. Is Wendy here? My second interview is with Wendy. Oh, there she is. Oh my gosh, Wendy, tell everybody, where are you from?
Okay, so I'm from Norfolk in the UK. So
yes, so from United States, we're in the UK now.
Yeah.
I love them. Welcome. And can you tell everybody when you started the program? I think you're almost how many months in?
Yeah, so literally I'm on I'm on the precipice, as they say, sort of like just going off the edge. So for me, I've been watching Kathleen for nearly a year, and it was always my dream to be part of the course, to join, but obviously, ironically, we're talking about wealth today. It was always a money issue. So there's a lot of quite a big investment, and I had my own business. And while I was doing well, I wasn't doing enough to warrant that kind of expenditure in my world. Then came February, and for the life of me, I cannot remember what topic it was we were talking about, but I just knew there and then that I needed to sign up now. So literally, I went on to my bank, I got the loan, and I signed up, paid it in full within, I think it was 8 minutes. So literally the loan, I got agreed immediately. So it was like, I just thought this is just meant to be. Well, I got the loan, paid immediately, and not once did I ever worry about it, which really was shocked for me, because I was always worrying about doing it and where I would find the money. But even to this day, I don't even look at it. I don't think about it. I just know this was the right decision for me.
That is so beautiful. So in other words, you knew that this was what you were ready to do. So you are a mindset coach and a hypnotherapist, is that correct?
Yeah, a mindset and motivation coach predominantly, but I do hypnotherapy as well. Yeah.
So how long have you been a coach?
Well, I became a coach back in 2006, and I became a coach purely because I wanted to teach my children, to give them the skills to have the best life possible. I had no intention of making it a career, but becoming a coach not only changed me, it changed everything. My children's life, my career, and so on. So although I didn't become a coach in my own right until 2019, that's when I opened my own practice. I used those skills through a lot of what I did in my career.
Okay, so as of 2019, where was your business? Because I know you shared with us a lot in our embodiment sessions. We hold embodiment sessions in a full week from Monday to Sunday, and it's 1 hour. And everyone comes on with their questions, and we help each other, and we really go through the whole program and how, you know, one another can help. And Wendy shared a beautiful story, but I want you to share with everyone, where was your coaching business before you met this Kathleen in this community?
Yeah, so it was ticking. Okay, so it was going peaks and troughs. Some months were good, some months were not so good. It was very hand to mouth. So I'd always have enough, just enough. And hence that's why was my hesitation about signing up. But I was putting a lot of work. I was really passionate, and I still am very passionate about what I do. But I was doing a lot of working and thinking you had to work hard, thinking, you know, you have to really, because that's what I'd always been taught. You know, I used to work 16 hours a day while trying to raise 2 young children and do fitness and everything else and try and cram it all in. That was my belief, that you had to work hard to get results. And that's where I was when I started Diamond Academy.
Good. So what changed within you? Because it wasn't really about the business, it was about you, correct?
Yeah, this was all about me. This wasn't about the business. I felt that there was, being a mindset coach, I know a lot about the minds, but it's okay helping someone else. It was about where was I going, and I knew I was stuck, and I knew I couldn't do this alone. It was finding the right environment for me to change. So hence then I came into the academy, and I came in initially with the idea that I want to be a millionaire. And for the first couple of months, that's what I was doing. I was kind of focusing on, you know, what I needed to do to manifest this money and win the lottery and all sorts of things. But it felt sluggish for me. It felt uncomfortable. And then it dawned on me one day, it was one after Kathleen's lessons, and I thought, hang on a minute, this is I'm going down the wrong road here. I'm focused on the wrong thing. It was about, for me, it was a spiritual journey. And it's really interesting about what Kathleen said earlier about, you know, being spiritual and not being able to be abundant. Yeah. I can categorically tell you now, since I've become more spiritual, my abundance has grown. Okay, so there is direct connection there. This isn't about me doing all the mechanical things. It was soon as I started to embody the spiritual things along with the mechanical, I do appreciate they come together. That's when everything changed. So I went from just ticking over to not even have to look at my bank account.
So you're talking about the masculine energy and the feminine energy. So we're not talking about man and woman, right? We're talking about masculine energy, feminine energy. So for you, you were the do, taking out, oh my God, I got to do this. But the spiritual, the feminine energy was lacking within you. So when you brought that in, it just raised everything for you. So someone that's watching now and saying, well, how do you do that? What would you answer?
Okay, so it really is, and I think someone used the word earlier, awareness. You know, the awareness is the first key. So when we start to explore what we're thinking and how it makes us feel, that for me, although it is very strange because as a mindset coach, that was quite prominent in what I do, but it was done on a different level, and it was done without bounds. straps or whatever you like to call it. It was done in such a free way. And I think that even when I was doing the spiritual side or the feminine side, I still put like tight reins on it. Okay, so that makes sense. I didn't let it go. And I think that was the biggest thing. I started to want, ask, desire, feel, and let it go. And I think Joy mentioned earlier about collaboration. This is about us collaborating with the universe or God or whatever form you choose to believe in. But it's a collaboration. You can only do so much. Then the universe has to do the rest. So you have a part to play. And it was all that realization that really changed everything for me. And now, like I shared a story, I've suddenly got a client that's given me 50 clients. It's a project. What I haven't shared is that I just raised my first invoice for £12,500, one invoice. Now, you'd have said that to me 6 months ago, and I was like, what? I'm going to have to work very hard for that. But now, the more I'm letting go, the easier my life is. Actually, the more that's coming to me. It's not about working harder. It's about being and knowing and understanding what it feels like, and then let it go and accepting it.
Oh, Kathleen, I know you're on. I was waiting for you to hear this. She shared it on our embodiment session on Saturday. And I'm like, oh, Kathleen has to hear this. I cannot wait for her to share it with everybody.
Oh, I had to turn my camera on because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Wendy, don't we have a podcast episode that we did together? Did we?
Yeah.
No?
We did. Yeah, I think we did.
That was a while ago. I think so. I don't know. Anyways, I think this is fantastic. And I'm so proud of you. Can I read something real quick? Because you're talking about the more you connected spiritually, the more you brought money in. So it reminded me, and I'm like looking through my book to find this section, but You Too Can Be Prosperous by Robert Russell was an integral book towards me connecting spiritually more to money. And what he says here, just listen to what he says here, it's really powerful. If you believe that you are spiritual and money is material, you separate yourself from it by accepting such a belief. But when you realize that money is a spiritual idea that stands in the same relationship to mind, God, as a rose does, it will be visibly expressed without anxious thought. And I think that just sums up the more spiritually aligned and connected you get and realize that money is spiritual in itself, you will be sending for 12.5 pound invoices. And pounds is way more than like our Canadian dollar. So I'm so happy to hear this, Wendy. Like, I'm so proud of you. And Joy, like, wow. Like I don't get a chance to be on all of the embodiment sessions and hear all of these shares. So when I get on here and I'm sitting here listening, I'm just like, I'm in absolute awe because this isn't just one person experiencing significant change. It is a ripple effect of change. And now, Wendy, you are going to impact people in such a different way now because of what you've learned for yourself. I'm so proud of you. Joy, proud of you too. Beautiful. Oh,
Wendy, what's next for you? I would love everyone to hear what's next for you.
yeah.
Okay, so I think I just want to add one thing, and one thing that Kathleen taught me, and that was about to observe, not judge. And I would say that has also been profound for me because it's very easy to get caught in the negativity of other people and to be swayed. But that for me has been a massive lesson. And I'm being very aware of that now and not getting caught up in that. So I just want to share that. So my journey for me now is just to continue this work. I'm actually sort of working on the laws at the moment. But my next objective is to join Kathleen on one of the retreats. So I will, I'm waiting for one. I'm gutted because Lisa's coming to the UK in a couple of weeks' time. I can't make it, and I'm gutted. But so it's there. It's going to be signposted for me, and that's my next step.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
And I have to say, when I first came on, one of the things I wanted to manifest was to be interviewed by Kathleen. So what's interesting is that obviously, you know, you came on, Deborah, and Kathleen wasn't here, and I thought, okay, fair enough. And so that's amazing, and it is the end of my journey with Diamond Academy for the moment. And I am absolutely, I can't stress enough how emotional I feel and attached to everybody. Just such a beautiful community, and I know us English can be quite staid sometimes and a little bit less emotional than you guys, but you know what, my heart, and to say thank you.
Actually, I have one more question for you. What would you tell a coach that was like you 6 months ago? What would be one advice you would love to tell them?
Okay, so as a coach, we're fantastic at helping other people, but it's that precious time that we allow ourselves to look inward and grow. And I think that what is one of the most powerful things about Kathleen is sharing her journey every single week. Every week there's something new, and it shows you we never stop growing, we never stop learning. But to see it for your own eyes, I think for me is something I would recommend to any coaches, to see that in action, you know, to be vulnerable, to be okay. So do you know what? And I think Kathleen used to say a couple of weeks ago and said, you know, this is what I used to believe about a year ago, but actually I've moved on from it. This is what I am now. This is what I believe now. And I think as a coach, you need to see that and be open to that kind of change, because we're all growing and all moving forward.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Well said.
Oh my gosh, Wendy, you're so amazing. I was going to do the interviews today, but my throat is raspy, and I have this thing where I love to talk and I love to sing, and it's shaky today. So Deborah and Shannon have stepped in for me, which is really great. But here we are chatting, and so you know what? I will get my hug from you in Mexico at Rise. Okay, I'm sending that intention out for you. It will be absolutely life-changing. Let me tell you that. But anyways, congratulations, Joy, as well. I appreciate you guys so much, and thanks for sharing your truth with us today.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love hearing from our community members. I really love it. It's so inspiring. And really, social proof is a really, really big part of what we do here. And so the more you see other people around you winning and saying some of the things that they're saying and going within and realizing their worth, their value, changing their ideas, the more that will become a reality for you, because you're literally seeing it, you're observing it, and it's evidence and it's proof. So anything anybody else can do, you can do too. Absolutely. Some people can't relate to some of the numbers that I've done. So if you can't relate at this point, just hang on to somebody else's story and their numbers, relate to that, and then you'll get to relating to mine. And I just mean relate to, like, see it possible for you, you know? And so it's all available and it's all there for you. I want to quickly, I mentioned Robert Russell, and the You Too Can Be Prosperous book is a very, very important book. It's very, very powerful. It can be something that some people absolutely love, and then some people are like, it just does not resonate because of some of the language used. So read it for what it means for you. But what is so important is the book is such a shift from one idea to another idea. So the idea of money was created in someone's mind, okay? And it was created in somebody's mind because they were doing God's work. So the creation of Diamond Academy, it's God's work. It's me answering the call. So money is a vehicle to which God's abundance is distributed through. And so that means you become an open vessel based on the idea that you are thinking from. Okay, so people are like, how do I become an open vessel? How do I become an open vessel? Think from a new idea. So universal law says that any idea held in the screen of the mind will manifest into the physical form by law. Any idea. Okay, I love this. An idea is a culmination of thoughts. It's a culmination of beliefs. It's a way of thinking and believing about a thing. So you hold an idea about who you are. You hold an idea about the world. You hold an idea about your business or your job. You hold an idea about your relationship with your spouse, your significant other. You hold an idea about money. And so that idea about money that you hold is what you think from, what you feel from, and what you express life from. So if your idea in your consciousness right now is lack and limitation, it might not be poverty. You know, we sometimes use the language of you either have a poverty consciousness or an abundance consciousness. Well, there is a whole range of beliefs around money and a whole range of different ideas. So you might not be thinking in poverty ways. So you might not call yourself poor. Some people would, but you might not. It doesn't matter. The key to understand is that the idea that you're holding is one of lack and limitation. What does limitation mean? You're limited, you're restricted, you're held back, you don't have. It's not enough. That's lack and limitation idea. So what would be the opposite idea? What would be the other polarity? So if you're thinking lack and limitation, not enough, that is your idea. Remember the universal law, perpetual transmutation of energy. Any idea held on the screen of the mind will manifest in the physical form by law. You cannot make more money in your life. You cannot have more abundance and prosperity if you have a lack and limitation idea. You can't live a life of love without experiencing love first. You can't live a life of joy without experiencing joy first. You can't have more things to be grateful for until you're grateful. Nothing grows from displeasure. So we want to move into abundance and prosperity. So you too can be prosperous. The word he uses is prosperity, the prosperity idea. So we can talk about prosperity in terms of money, but what we're really talking about is the experience that prosperity provides. It's the feeling of prosperity, right? So is it prosperous to have $100,000 sitting in your bank account that you cannot use and you cannot touch? Is that prosperity? Has your life changed? Is it any different? You might feel a sense of freedom, but you're not living a prosperous life. I will never forget the day I met a man and he had $12 million in his bank account and he would not spend a dollar of it. He lived like he made $5,000 a month. He would not spend any money. He would not go on any trips. He would not invest. He just had 12 mil in his bank account. Jennifer McClure, what's the point? Exactly. Why would we do that? Right? Because there was fear, right? There was fear that I need the money there for the just in case, for this, for that, so would never use it. That is not an abundance and prosperity consciousness. That is lack and limitation. I'm so scared that the money will not come back to me, I can't spend it. Not abundance and prosperity, right? So the beautiful thing then is the prosperity idea. What is prosperity? I've already seen it in the chat. Prosperity is what you have when the money is spent. So prosperity is taking your kids to Disneyland. Prosperity is going on that vacation. Prosperity is buying the car. Prosperity is investing into a course. Prosperity is going on the retreat. Prosperity is going and buying a new outfit, new wardrobe. So prosperity is a feeling, it's a state of being that you experience when you are thinking from the idea of abundance and prosperity. So the idea of abundance and prosperity says there is always more where that came from. There is always more where that came from. That belief is one that will serve you. So remember Niagara Falls. Are we standing there looking at Niagara Falls going, I wonder when it's going to run out. I wonder when it's going to stop. Could it be right now? Is it going to be right now? Let's see. No. We're literally going, wow, this is so amazing. And it just keeps going. It's just never ending. This is so incredible. That's the belief. So I will use water a lot as an example because we have resources, infinite resources that are at our disposal around the world, infinite resources at our disposal. And when we realize that these resources are infinite, then we allow ourselves to have that experience of infinite resources. So to say that access to clean water is a supply issue is not entirely true, right? How is it that there are countries that have access to it and there are countries that do not? And we have so much access to it that we actually will have a shower in it for 30 minutes. Yeah, some of you take 30-minute showers. I'm a mother, so I learned how to get it done in 3 to 5 minutes. The men are in there 20 to 30 minutes. I joke about this. But it's so true. And so when you go to your kitchen and you are washing your dishes or you're filling up a glass of water, you open up the tap, you see water come out. See money, look, this is where my head's going. You see water come out, you fill up your glass, you drink it, knowing you could just go and fill it back up. So a true abundance and prosperity mindset would be the same thing. So I have a certain amount of money in my bank account. I'm going to spend it, just like drink it, knowing it will fill back up. So Wendy talked about how she always had just enough. That statement, I always had just enough, that's the law of infinite supply. So she always had just enough for her demand to be fulfilled. Right? That's good. That's abundance. But now you just got to learn to create a bigger demand, open up your vessel, be more open to receive, and have that same belief. I always have enough. I always have enough. Then you'll move into, my bank account is overflowing. I have more money than I can spend. Overflow. It's a beautiful word. But let me get you thinking that you're abundant and prosperous first, then we'll move into overflow. Okay? Let's get you bringing in more, being more open to receive. So one of the things that Robert Russell says, page 43, all of you are always going to ask me what page. Page 43, 10 things to remember when demonstrating prosperity. So these are really, really beautiful list of 10 things. The mental process necessary to a greater income is a matter of recognition, acceptance, and belief. This mental experience must precede any material manifestation. So how do you create the demand in your thinking? This is how you create the demand, in your thinking first. I'm thinking abundance, I'm thinking prosperity, I'm thinking more. And so if you're not even asking for more money, you're not open to receive more. Impossible. You're not creating demand. You're like, no, I'm good. I'm good. So instead, grateful, never satisfied. I am grateful, never satisfied. Because when you're grateful, you are connected to your oneness. You're connected to the divine. The gratitude for everything that you have makes you an open vessel. When you're grateful for it, you will get more of it. You will get more of what you are grateful for. The things that you value the most in life will stay close to you, and the things that you don't value will move away from you. So you must value money. You must value it. And so we're creating an assumption then that the more money I have, the more money I spend. The more money I spend, the more money I make. That's a beautiful, beautiful analogy. I used to believe valuing money meant keeping it. No. To me, valuing money is to understand that it is to be used and it is to be in circulation. You have to keep it in flow and you have to keep it in movement. So if you haven't spent money for a while, it's like, oh, I better go spend some. I better move the flow. I got to keep it moving. You don't want it to be stale. You don't want it to be stagnant. You want to keep it in flow and you want to keep it in movement. So every time you get to pay a bill, you're like, yes, I get to move my energy today. I get to spend some money today. But most of us are like, oh man, I got to pay this bill. I don't want to pay this bill. But yeah, you do want to pay the bill. Like you do want electricity. You do want lights in your house. You do want air conditioning if it's the middle of summer. You do want to pay for the car that you get to drive around all day and pick your kids up from school and take them to soccer. You do. So why are we saying we don't? We have chosen to get those things to be part of the demand to fill. So we do want all of those things. And so why are we not in gratitude for it? Let's be grateful. And then we become a vibrational match to more. Because when you have more, what feeling are you in? What's the feeling that you'll be in when you have more? You will be grateful. You will be happy. You will be in joy. You will have freedom. You will feel ease and relaxation, peace, calmness, security. So we want to feel that way now about money, right? So gratitude is such a beautiful way to connect. But the demand happens in your thinking. So we want to think abundance and prosperity and not think lack and limitation. So number one question I get, surprised it hasn't been asked. How do you think and feel from abundance and prosperity when you have no money? Okay, this is the number one. I always get this question. So the assumption there is that you are abundant and prosperous from having money, right? So the assumption is that it's the money that makes me feel abundant. It's the money that makes me feel prosperous. And without money, I'm not abundant and I'm not prosperous. So that's the assumption in that question. But we know that everything starts in the mind. So in order for someone to become abundant and prosperous, they needed to think that first, not experience it. How can you bring money into your life if you are in lack and limitation and not open to receive? You can't. So you must think abundance and prosperity first. So how can you think abundance and prosperity without any money? What are ways that you can observe abundance playing out in your life every day and it not be related to money? Because we're talking about a feeling. We're not talking about a possession. We're talking about a feeling. Abundance and prosperity is a feeling. And we operate on the frequency of vibration of that feeling. It's a feeling. We become a match to that feeling and we attract based on that feeling. You don't need money in your bank account to have the feeling. You can go into your imagination right now and you can play out a scenario where you win the lotto and all those things that I described that Chris and I used to do. But stay there and believe it, and you will change your vibrational state. But there's other ways too. It doesn't just need to be your imagination. You can actually observe your world and find abundance and prosperity in your world right now. Tell me about something that you experience in your everyday life right now that's abundance. Nature, cat cuddles. That's so cute. Love, Ricky, I love that answer. There is so much love to go around. It is overflowing, absolutely overflowing. There is an absolute abundance of trees. There is an abundance of water in the oceans. There is an abundance of life everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's an abundance of people. Billions of people. I don't even know. We're going to get to 8 billion soon, I think. An abundance of dreams, yes. And there is an abundance of money, isn't there? There is an abundance of money in the world. Your individual experience with it is what limits you. So when we look at the world and we look at all the money around and we realize how much there is, and then we go to ourselves and we go, but I don't have it. That's my experience. we've limited, we've contracted. So I remember touring, my team got to tour this house too, a $68 million mansion in Bel Air. It's 20,000 square feet. I think like 9 bedrooms or something like that. The most stunning thing ever. And somebody there says, I wouldn't want to live in here, it's too big. I was like, how dare you? Why would you say something like that? You just told the universe that you do not want abundance. You don't want that much space. It's too big. And you're saying, no, thank you. I said, no way, Jose. So what do I say? Universe, I am open to receive this level of abundance. Once the level of abundance comes, I can choose if I want to spend it on a house like this or not. But I am never going to limit myself by saying something like that. Right? Just on the beach. Well, that was my thought, Jen. Where's the ocean? Like, I would love the ocean. But if any and all things are possible, what would you love? You know? So for me, it's just about, I don't want to remove any limitations. So I'm never going to say I don't want that, or I wouldn't want that experience or whatever. I'm just going to say, I'm open to receive that level of abundance. And so there's one thing to be said around thinking from a new idea. And then people ask me, okay, how do I become more open to receive? Be open to receive. So when somebody takes you out for dinner and they want to pay for it, you say, thank you. I'm open to receive. I had to consciously tell myself this. Like, I was at a point where, you know, if I'm being totally honest, like, I make a lot more money than a lot of people in my life do. And not a lot of people are at the level of abundance as me. So one of the things that I am so grateful to be able to do is to pay for dinner whenever I can. So I go out for people and I go out for dinner and I always just assume I'm paying. I'm like, I'm going to pay. And so I was just paying and it felt good and I loved it. And then I went for lunch with somebody one day and they were like, I want to pay for lunch. And I was like, no, I'll pay. Like, I'm like, I make more money, I'll pay. And they looked at me and they were like, be open to receive, Kathleen. This is what I want to do. And I was like, oh, it's not about me. This is a way for you to circulate money. This is a way for you to feel abundant and prosperous. This is a way for you to be open to receive. And I'm blocking it. And then what I realized is then I'm not open to receive because I'm just giving. So we want to give, but we want to be open to receive. So if somebody wants to give you something, if somebody wants to take you somewhere, you say, yes, please, thank you very much. It's just like compliments. People want to give us compliments and then we're like, oh, this old thing, or like, oh, I don't look good today, or oh, I didn't put any makeup on. No. Receive, say thank you. When you just say thank you, you're open to receive. Sometimes I'll say, I'll take that. Thank you. I'll receive that. So add that language. I'll receive that. I'm open to receive. Change that language. It's a really, really powerful language. I want to read one other thing from this one too. Okay. So poverty is a state of mind. We bring about this manifestation by our negative recognition, acceptance, and belief. So recognizing poverty, accepting poverty, and believing you are in poverty will manifest it. So then, recognizing abundance all around you, accepting abundance into your life, and the belief that you are abundant will create that reality. It's really, really simple. We overcome poverty by mastering the sense of every kind of lack. Do we get that? In order for you to experience abundance, you must experience lack. And you must therefore become aware of and sense the lack and limitation in your life to then change it to abundance and prosperity. So if you don't realize or are aware of a limitation, you will never be able to shift it. So the first question about your money story on the worksheets, that is going to help you become aware of the lack and limitation in your life. So Oftentimes in the manifestation world, we get you to write out like your 50 plus want list, your goals, what would you love, write out all your dreams. Some of the most powerful work I've ever done is writing out my limitations. Where do I feel limited in my life? Because it is an awareness of what I'm observing and then creating assumptions from. And then I can just turn around those assumptions. Is this true? Wendy said she stopped judging and started to observe. This is what I want you to do. I want you to observe yourself. I want you to observe your limits. Don't judge, just observe, because then you can switch to abundance and prosperity. A final word that I use all the time, and I think it is a very, very good one for you to start to use in your life. I convinced myself I was a millionaire and the millions of dollars came. I convinced myself. What does it mean to convince yourself? We convince ourselves of things all the time. We convince ourselves that our business will not be successful, so we never started. We convince ourselves that we can't afford to go to the Rise retreat, so we never ask to go. We don't even put it on our vision board. I use that as an example because I know there's a lot of you that the ability to attend is right there, but you're not even asking, right? So convincing yourself of something is building a significant belief within yourself that you literally express your life differently. You attract and manifest from that experience differently, and you will see the realization. I believe wholeheartedly 100% that anything that I maintain a persistent attitude of desire for, I will have. No matter what. So in times when the doubt creeps in, isn't that so helpful? Because I just remind myself who I am, and I remind myself of what I believe. Oh, my human is out today. Fear, worry, doubt, that's my human. That's not my spirit. When I'm in a state of joy, love, happiness, abundance, faith, I call it faith on fire. Faith on fire is an energy that I am completely unstoppable in. Faith on fire. So what does that mean? Fire to me represents a burning, an engulfing, a all-encompassing feeling. So when I am faith on fire, you can't stop me. I am like, oof, I am blazing a trail, and it is led by faith. So there's nothing in my physical world that's creating that. That all comes from within. I've decided to believe in the invisible. I've decided to believe in the impossible. I've decided to make the impossible possible in my own thinking. I've convinced myself of such. Right? So convincing yourself that you are living an abundant and prosperous life right now today will bring you more abundance and prosperity. But let's pull out the limitations. So tomorrow morning when we start, we're going to start by building the desire for more money. So today, do question 1, please. So question 1 in the worksheet is about your current limitations related to money. Where are you limited? What do you believe about it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What kind of relationship would you describe it as? Does it cause problems in your life? Or is it a source of freedom? Is it a source of love? So just really journal it all out. What do you think about it? What do you believe about rich people? What do you believe about people that waste their money? Is it possible to waste money? What does that mean? Can we waste water? We're doing it every day. But when you know that you have an endless supply and it just keeps coming and coming and coming, you behave very differently. We will drop the worksheets in the chat. You can also reach out to your success advisor and they will send it to you there. And we will also post them in the Facebook group, Manifested with Kathleen Cameron Facebook group. Okay, so we will start tomorrow at 10 a.m. We usually start about 10:05. We like to play some music. We're really intentional about the music. So coming on early, getting into that vibration, getting into that energy is really, really powerful. So come on for like 10:05 if you can. We're going to go through desire tomorrow, building the desire for more money. That is a powerful energy. When you love it and you want more of it, give me all the money, give me it all. I love it. That's what we want to be in. Then we're going to talk about putting the new prosperity idea to work. So once we understand where we're limited related to money, we allow ourselves to want more of it and believe that we're worthy of receiving it, and we start to think from a new idea, we have to change our action. We'll talk about that tomorrow. So homework, please, if you feel called to share any aha moments, any nuggets, anything today that you had a shift with, your homework, you can post it and tag me, Kathleen Cameron on Instagram, Kathleen Cameron Manifest, I think, on Instagram. Or you can go into our private Facebook group if you want to post more privately in there. The more you engage, the more you enter into the spirit, the more you do the homework, the more you come back, the more you watch the replays, the more this will change you and will shift you. We see it over and over and over again. So both of the ladies that were on here today sharing, they're active members of our community. They're on the calls, they're sharing, they're doing the work. And so that's very, very powerful. The last thing that I will say too, we always end with a song, so we will end with a song today. But the last thing that I will say too is that there is a version of you that exists already that is living an abundant, prosperous life, that has a lot of money. Okay, not just happiness and joy and love, but has all of those things plus money in the bank, an overflow of money in the bank. That version of you exists. You just have to become aware of them. Allow yourself to fuse with the belief of them, and that's how you will bring it in. Thank you so much. Jen, are we ready to play a song? We always end with specific music, songs that raise your vibration, that have messages that are inspiring or motivational or empowering. And so today I think it's a Katy Perry song that I chose. And I always choose it like right before. So stay on for the song with us. And then I will see everybody tomorrow. Let me know if you are coming on back live in the comments, please. And I'm so excited for you all to start experiencing what more money feels like.